All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are tackling one of the biggest challenges out there, the global development gap. And we're going to explore a whole toolkit of different ideas and strategies designed to help close that gap.
So, let's just put the big question on the table right away. How do we actually do this? How can we meaningfully close the enormous gap between the world's richer and poorer countries? It's a huge, complicated question, and, well, there's no single magic bullet.
And that's really the key idea for today's explainer. The answer isn't just one thing. It's a whole collection of different approaches. So think of it like a mechanic's toolkit. You've got different tools for different jobs, and you need to know which one to use and when.
Okay, so before we open up that toolkit, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What exactly is the global development gap? Well, put simply, it's that stark difference you see in wealth, health, and overall quality of life between the world's most and least developed countries.
First up in our toolkit, we've got two big ones: international aid and fair trade. These are all about direct support, moving money and shaping how we buy and sell things to help developing nations.
Let's start with aid. So, at its core, international aid is basically one country or a group of countries giving help, whether it's money, food, or technical know-how, to another country. The whole point is to improve living conditions and get important development projects off the ground.
And aid isn't just one thing. It comes in a couple of different flavors. You've got bilateral aid, which is like a direct line. One country gives money straight to another. Then there's multilateral aid. That's when a bunch of countries pool their money together into big organizations, like the World Bank or the UN, and those organizations then distribute the funds. It's more of a collective effort.
Okay, our second tool here is fair trade. Now, this is a movement that really focuses on commerce, on the things we buy every day, like coffee or bananas. The big idea is to make sure the farmers and producers at the very start of that chain get a fair, stable price for what they grow. That way, they can actually make a decent living and invest in their communities.
And it's so important to remember, it's not just about the money. The whole fair trade movement is also fighting for safe working conditions and trying to stamp out horrible practices like child labor. Really, a fair price is the foundation for everything else, for better lives and stronger communities.
All right, let's move on to the next set of tools in our kit. Here, we're going to shift our focus a little bit from those big top-down strategies to things that are designed to empower communities and even individuals at the local grassroots level.
First up is something called intermediate technology. Now, this isn't about dropping some super complex, high-tech machine into a village where nobody knows how to use it or fix it. Nope, it's the exact opposite. It's about simple, affordable, and durable tools that are a perfect fit for local conditions and can be easily maintained by the people who use them.
This is a perfect example, a simple hand pump. It's not flashy, it's not complicated, but just look at the ripple effect it can have. A hand pump gives a community access to clean water. Clean water means less disease, and less disease means a dramatically better quality of life. It is a small tool with a massive impact.
Next up, we have microfinance. This idea is a real game changer. Instead of giving huge sums of money to governments, microfinance is all about giving very small loans directly to individuals. We're talking about just enough money for someone to, say, buy a sewing machine or some livestock to start a small business and begin generating their own income. It's empowerment in its purest form.
Okay, so we've looked at the grassroots level. Now let's zoom all the way out to the highest level. The final tools in our kit involve governments and massive global corporations. These are the big, powerful economic levers.
First, debt relief. So a lot of developing nations are just crushed by enormous debts they owe to richer countries. Debt relief is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's forgiving that debt. And why is that so crucial? Because it frees up millions, sometimes billions of dollars that were just going to loan payments. Now that money can be used for things that actually matter, like building schools and hospitals.
And our last tool is TNC Investment. TNCs are transnational corporations, those huge global companies that operate all over the world. You know the names. When one of these companies decides to invest in a developing country, say by building a new factory, that can be a really powerful engine for economic change.
And look, when it works well, the benefits are pretty clear. TNCs can create a ton of jobs. They build new infrastructure, they bring in new skills and technology, and crucially, they pay taxes, which gives the government more money to spend on its own people.
But, and this is a really big but, it can be a double-edged sword. You've got the promise of jobs and growth on one side, but on the other,
These corporations have been heavily criticized for things like exploiting workers with low pay, causing serious environmental damage, or using up precious local resources like water. So it's a powerful tool, for sure, but one that comes with some serious risks.
So, after looking at all these different strategies, we come right back to where we started. There's no single, one-size-fits-all answer here. It's all about understanding a specific situation and then choosing the right tool, or more likely, the right combination of tools from the kit.
And here's our whole toolkit, all in one place. You can see how they all fit together. You've got these top-down tools like aid and debt relief, bottom-up tools like microfinance that empower people directly, and then you've got market-based approaches like fair trade and TNC investment. Each one has a totally unique part to play.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. When you're facing a problem as huge and as complicated as global inequality, is it even realistic to look for a single perfect tool? Or is the real genius, the real path forward in the art of combining them? Knowing how, when, and where to use each tool to build something better. Something to think about. Thanks for joining me today.